Hey, what's happening, family? It's your man, Mark Black. Happy Hump Day to all of you. Welcome to the broadcast. Let me make a quick adjustment here of the camera. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know a brother need to shave. I'll take care of that. Um, Family, today's broadcast is going to be a pretty good one. I don't think it's going to be a heavy duty one, but I still recommend that you grab your pen and paper because I'm going to get into some meaty topics today. And I want to make sure that you get all of the data, get all of the information that you need. All right. Before we get started, though, just a couple of quick things. Y'all all know the rules. If you're here, don't don't come in the house and not announce yourself. Pop in the chat, say what's up, let us shout you out. Second of all, fam, in case those of you who weren't aware, I do now have a Patreon. I'm not going to ask that you donate every broadcast and stuff like that. If you'd like to and you have the coins, feel free to do so. There are links in the description field to do that. However, I'm going to ask moving forward that you put 5 on it via Patreon. It would definitely be a helpful and appreciated. Oh, by the way, there's also links to reports, books, and other resources to help you get up on your ATOS advocacy. That way you can be like your man Mark Black. My job is to make as many of me as possible. So if you need assistance with that, you can either reach out to me directly at blackoutcastmedia@gmail or check the links in the description field below for some resources that'll help you out. By the way, let's go ahead and get everybody shouted out. Thomas B, first one in the house today. Peace, Thomas. Miss Denny, as always. Peace, sister. Welcome to your Hump Day broadcast. Code Ref in the house. Knocker Ball Jersey representing. I see you, the cool man. DC in the house. I see you. All right, fam. So today's broadcast is going to be discussing a topic that I think has been kind of really long overdue for discussion as ADOS people, because it doesn't just affect us politically, right? This is a topic that affects us in so many ways.
For your efforts.
Thank you, sister. I appreciate the love. Peace to CRU, by the way. I see you, fam. Salute to you. The topic that we're going to be discussing today is affinity fraud. Now, I'm going to be talking about it specifically in the political sense, right? But affinity fraud is something that affects ATOS people across the board, right? It's something that we need to address completely across the board. Now, as always, I'm going to give you the definitions so that you know where we're operating from. Affinity fraud is essentially a type of fraud that is practiced upon identifiable groups, right? Elderly folk are often victims of affinity fraud. Different religious groups are often victims of affinity fraud. Various ethnic communities are also victims of affinity fraud. See, affinity frauds or affinity scams uses the connections of various communities to basically defraud them, to scam them, right? The fraudsters, the scammers usually appear to be a part of the group, right? Matter of fact, they're usually the ones that are like the most like everyone in the group, right? Like, people who are, the super religious dude, who you always see with the Bible, just got it cracked open, what I'm saying, constantly quoting the scripture, or that cat who's always talking about, all our alma mater, and we all graduated from the same school, right? So this is the person that's usually the most you of you, right? But they use that affinity with you to get you to buy into various schemes, various scams, various notions that ultimately work out to your detriment and to their benefit, right? You often see affinity frauds operating in religious spheres, right? First of all, it's easy to fundraise religiously. Like most people who are religious or spiritual, who are regular churchgoers or are regular attenders to mosques or whatever the case may be, already have concepts that are extant within the religion that encourage them to be charitable, to give, right? To pay their tithes, to pay their dues, so to speak, right? So when you have someone who appears to be extremely faithful, right? A very devout adherent to your faith, and then they present you with some entreaty to contribute to X or join them in supporting Y, and so on and so forth. It's a real easy route from there to being defrauded, right? How many times have you seen news reports where some elderly person gave, 50, 60, 100, $200,000 to somebody who promised them that they would take that money and be able to grow something big with it, or, do something that will benefit the whole community, only for those people to disappear on them, right? Affinity fraud for us as ATOS folk is a real fucking problem. I can't say it any other way, right? You have quite a few people in our community who will use their tie to us as a means for their own enrichment and self-aggrandizement. Peace, by the way, Noel. I see you. Welcome to the broadcast and happy hump day to you. Yeah, what's up? Peace, fam. So I'll give you some examples. Because, see, unlike many of you, I have no problem with calling out people that are obviously, no, let me take that back, because most of the time it's alleged. And there's a reason why it's alleged, because we don't usually tend to report people that are committing scams against us, that are defrauding us, that are ripping us off, especially if they identify as a member of our group. Shout out to you, Agent, by the way. Welcome to your Hump Day broadcast. There is an individual that some of you may be familiar with, relatively well known, especially if you're involved yourself in what's called the conscious, woke, pro-black community. Brother Polite. Brother Polite has been doing debates and, discussing the meta-nature and debating Muslims and Hebrews and all this and that and the third, and talking about the black woman is God and all this and that. And again, I don't have anything to say about any of the ideas or teachings that he espouses. Nothing. Right? I say that as an American, you have the right to believe whatever the hell you want. But now that this man has made his entree into the community through his teachings, through his lessons and lectures, and so on and so forth. By the way, shout out to Bookman, shout out to DVM, I see you, and shout out to Leroy. Happy Hump Day and welcome to the broadcast. Polite then offers this plan, right? Shout out Corsi, happy Hump Day to you and welcome to the broadcast, right? This plan to utilize tax liens and other things, status correction and all of that, right? All of these things of which that if they were legitimate, if they were true, would be of benefit to people who follow him, people who are a part of his community or the community he's a part of. However, what you find most often is not video after video saying, yeah, I used Polite's program. I was able to acquire X number of homes via tax liens and so on and so forth, right? I clearly had my status corrected to the point when I went to court, it was completely verified and everything was above board. No, what you see constantly is video after video of people saying that they've ordered his materials, paid thousands of dollars and have not received them. Or they've given thousands of dollars to Polite to invest and not hearing from him. Meanwhile, what you see with Polite is gold shoes, bulletproof vests, big goons standing behind him, and so on and so forth. That indicates that he's doing well. Driving around Bentleys that he's rented and so on and so forth. Now, again, because we haven't had anybody investigate the man, I can only say that he's doing these things allegedly. But he appears to be an Affinity fraudster. Using his connection, his tie to the conscious pro-black community with a bunch of material that allegedly appears to just be plagiarized and hodgepodge pieces of books and materials that anybody could get their access to. And through that appears allegedly to be defrauding people of thousands of dollars. Another example brought up in the chat. Thank you. Shout out to Brother Bookman. Right? Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson came on the scene discussing the mistreatment and misdiagnosis of ATOS children, specifically boys, in the public school system, and offered his services as advocate for parents who had questions about their children being diagnosed as special needs, and so on and so forth. Right? He then starts giving lectures about Africa and, and respecting the black woman and this, that, and the third, right? I mean, all of the usual rhetoric that you hear from this community. So he made his entree. Let's not forget that people like Tariq Nasheed and others have used Umar Johnson in their various documentaries to support the assertions made during their documentaries, right? Oh, and how could you forget that he's a descendant of Frederick Douglass, right? The whole 9 yards. I mean, his affinity bona fides are supposedly beyond repute. So then he brings forward this plan to open up the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy of, I don't know what the hell the damn title of the school is these days, right? With a vision, a dream of being able to educate young black men on agriculture and economics and language and mathematics and the whole 9 yards. And people have given this man, from the last account that I've seen, upwards of $500,000 to maybe $600,000-$700,000. Again, with the mind that this school was going to open. There have been people that have been sending this man their resume. By the way, shout out to Azzy and I Am Six. Right? I Am Six, approximately 600,000.
Damn.
We are just now seeing videos of a building that appears to be a building he's purchased, and so on and so forth. Now, again, because this man has not been investigated, because no one has made any legal allegations of being defrauded, we can only say that he's allegedly defrauded us. Some of us, because I didn't contribute, right? So like I said, I don't have a horse in the race. But what you find is video after video, post after post on social media complaining that can't contact Umar, can't find him. I reach out to him asking about an update on the school. He got nothing to say. Or he's hemming and hawing. Meanwhile, he's appearing in documentary, going around the country lecturing, as you know, Papa, the Prince of Pan-Africanism. You feel me? Family affinity fraud runs rampant among our community. And there are specific reasons why. Part of the reason why we as ATOS are particularly susceptible to being taken by affinity fraudsters or affinity scammers is because many of us, shout out to Kanuri, by the way, happy hump day to you and welcome to the broadcast. Many of us still have bought into that whole striver mentality, that mentality of, thank you, Miss Denny, aspirational, right? That aspirational striver bullshit. Peace, Michael. By the way, happy hump day to you and welcome to the broadcast. So when we are exposed to somebody who appears to have some degree of success, right? Because notice, most of the time, these people can't really demonstrate to you, like they can't really show their work. They have the trappings of what looks like success, but they can't show their work. But when they come to us with these trappings and a narrative, fam, I was sleeping on my mama couch, 2 years behind on my child support, eating pork and beans out of the can. And then one day I went to the library and I found this old dusty book. And I sat down and I read it and I learned these principles. And by putting these principles in practice, you can see this nice whip I'm pushing. See all this bling I got on, right? I got $50,000 cash saved up in the bank and blah, 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 blah. All I want is for y'all to have what I have. Let me show you the way. That shit sound familiar, fam? Does that shit sound familiar to you? Right? That sounds like every fucking infomercial you've ever seen. Right? Agent Boyce, same thing. This aspirational striver drivel that if you just follow this program, if you just adhere to these teachings, if you just purchase this course, if you just listen to this lecture, success is going to fall in your lap like manna from heaven. We're particularly susceptible to this, family, because we still believe that in spite of all the evidence, we got a chance. We're like that dude who really likes a girl, and she says, I would never have sex with you in a million years. I'm not interested. No way, no how. The only way I would ever get with you is if you were the last guy on earth. And he says to her, so what you're saying is I have a chance. Right? Regardless of how remote the odds are, regardless of how unlikely it is that you will be able to duplicate in any real way whatever plan or program or lecture or whatever it is that you purchase, your aspiration won't let you do your due diligence. And we're exceptionally prone to accepting a hustle from somebody who looks like us. Because we not only have aspiration for ourselves, family, but we also vicariously live through the aspirations of other ATOS people. Why is it that you think that a drug dealing rapper who was able to parlay his resources into business and marry a pretty woman is the greatest topic of discussion in our community? You might know him as Jay-Z. I just saw a tweet today where this fool wrote a book discussing Jay-Z. Let me see if I can find that tweet. Shit had me mad, fam. I think it's Michael Dyson. Because you know how struck he is with celebrity, right? Yeah, here it is. New book, Jay-Z Made in America. This is his tweet, and I will read it to you. Quote, I am happy to announce my new book, Jay-Z Made in America. It examines Jay's hustling past and present, his poetic genius, and his political engagement. Lots of fresh interpretations of Jay's thought and career. You can pre-order the book today. Thanks, unquote. So we're uplifting reformed drug dealers now as goals of aspiration, as examples of fine, American living, being led on, of course, by the academic butter biscuit boule class, which, of course, Michael Eric Dyson is a dyed in the wool member of. Yes, Code, Americans are striver susceptible, but who is more striver susceptible than those who have been always locked out? Right? By the way, shout out to you, Marshall. Happy Hump Day to you and welcome to the broadcast. Exactly, Agent. Make this make sense to me. An ATOS doctor, right? Michael Eric Dyson, an academic, writes the story of a drug dealer and poses it as an example of his great hustle mind and his Poetic. Huh? Somebody make this make sense to me. But again, family, that striver mentality, that always trying to be better than where we actually are, because we have been the outcast, right? The ones that eat the failure, we're particularly susceptible to it. Another reason why we are susceptible to being defrauded via affinity is because we traditionally have had an issue with who and what we are. Shout out to you, Midtown, by the way. Happy Hump Day and welcome to the broadcast. Let me explain that to you. Family, you do understand that the biggest reason why ATOS hasn't taken off like it should amongst the general populace of our people is not because we're saying anything incorrect, right? One of the first things that we made sure to be committed to was to ground ourselves in the data, right? So no one disputes the information that we as ATOS present. Their primary issue with us, and I'm not speaking about non-ATOS people, I'm speaking about ATOS people. Their primary issue with us is the identification as descendants of slavery. It's the one truth that American descendants of slavery have never wanted to face. We have wanted to be everything but the descendant of our ancestors. Think about it. Think about it. Peace, Joey. Welcome to the broadcast and happy Hump Day to you. We have wanted to be everything but the descendants of our ancestors. We have wanted to be anything but that. You can call a nigga anything, and most likely you'll get a laugh from them. Call them anything related to a slave and see what happens to you. Black folk will fuck you up for associating them with slavery. So because we as a group have tried to run away from the truth of our existence here in the United States of America, we are open to being guided toward any affinity that takes us away from having to face that essential core truth, right? So black people can be told, you're gods and goddesses. And I can prove it to you just by my book for $19.99, and that shit will fly like hotcakes. America has classified you as chattel, using your birth certificate as collateral on a debt. But I can help you correct your status for just $799. Shit will fly like that. Peace, my brother Tazabah. Shalom to you and happy Hump Day. Welcome to the broadcast. You see, family, because we have refused to be ATOS, the American descendants of slavery, we have been susceptible to being swept up in all sorts of different affinity groups. And thus, our resources, our energy, our money, and all of that have been hoovered away from us. And we never see it coming. Yeah, I remember that whole, I'm descended from Hatshepsut. I'm a descendant of Cleopatra. Cleopatra was Greek. You dumb niggas. Cleopatra Philopator was Ptolemaic. She was Greek. Last time I checked, I ain't seen no Greeks that look like niggas. I digress.
That was petty.
That was petty, I know. I digress. Now, why is this discussion important? Because you see, family, we have been the victims of an ongoing fraud politically. And I can prove it to you. Once upon a time, in the great nation of the United States of America, there was a people that held up high a really tall, gangly looking white man named Abraham Lincoln. He was called the Great Emancipator, the freer of the slaves. And the party of which he was a part, the Republican Party, was the only party that made sense to any thinking, rational black person, ATOS person, once upon a time. Because you see, family, we forget, those of us who have dwelled in the era of the Democrats, the ownership, the capture of our vote via the Democratic Party, that once upon a time to vote Democrat made you essentially a race traitor. But in the 1960s, there was a president named Lyndon Baines Johnson, who, after the assassination of his predecessor, John F. Kennedy, agreed to sign legislation honoring the law that was on the books that was supposed to protect our right to vote, protect our citizenship, and to protect our persons, and the whole 9 yards. He said, okay. You niggas is on the verge of burning the whole damn thing down and turning the party over on its ear. Fine. I will enforce the law. And ever since then, we have been the victims of a political shell game, where every 4 years, ATOS people are told who we're supposed to vote against, and we do it faithfully. Now, we're not stupid, right? So in order for the Democrats to keep our vote captive, right, to defraud us out of the political power of our vote, in the absence of tangible, specific, pinpoint benefits to us, what they had to do was make us identify with them, right? So the Democrats to us come off as the party of freedom. The Democrats don't want you to be slandered if you have a baby out of wedlock or if you choose to abort one. The Democrats will accept you just as you are. If you poor, broke, and desperate, the Democrats don't mind being around you. To us, the Democrats represent the best potential for growth, liberation, peace, freedom for our people, and have since roughly the 60s. They will bring various candidates to us who will speak in our cadences, who will say all of the things we love to hear, all of the stories that we like, especially the ones where we've suffered, but now it's time for the sun to rise. Oh, the Democrats are good with that one. It's amazing how quickly they're able to capture our vote by simply telling us how much we've suffered. But now they're here to save us from it all. Now, strangely enough, we give them our vote. So we purchase the program. We buy the lecture. And then when we go and say, hey, so when are you going to deliver that liberation to us? When are we going to see some of this growth and uplift? You can't find them. Or when you do find them, they got a story to tell. Well, see, what had happened is the Republicans took over the Senate. So we would love to put forward some specific legislation for you, but I just don't think it's going to make it through. Yeah, I'm all for studying what happened to you and your people. So maybe we could come up with a plan to be able to provide you guys with reparations. But that Mitch McConnell. Peace, Joan. Happy hump day to you now that you got me thoroughly blushing. And welcome to the broadcast. Mr. Spacely's in the house, by the way. I see you, fam. Oh, there's my brother, the proud Mississippian. I would love to back what it is that you guys want. And I promise you, in my next term, we're going to take it right to them. A shell game. A bunch of promises that never ever get met, but your vote somehow still manages to disappear. 85%, 86%, 90%, 92%. Your vote goes to the Democrats. They call us a captive vote. Do you have any idea, fam, how disrespectful that is? I'll bet you don't. Because if you're ATOS, the typical ATOS person, the idea that the Democrats don't have to worry about your vote doesn't fill you with shame. It fills you with joy. You're damn right the Democrats don't have to worry about me. I don't care who doesn't vote for them. They got mine. Vote blue, no matter who. Shout out to MC Hammer and my sister, my beloved sister Shar. Happy hump day to you and welcome to the broadcast. We don't look at our vote being seen as a possession of the Democrats. Do you understand? A captive vote means they own you. They own you. Your political power, your vote, your bullet, the one shot you get every 2 years or every 4 years or every 6 years, the Democrats say it belongs to them. They own it. When they make their political calculations, shalom, Brother Paul, welcome to the broadcast and happy hump day to you. When they make their political calculations, they don't even bother to count you. Do you know why they don't bother to count you? Because they consider your vote locked in. They already say, okay, we know we got the niggas. Now, how are we going to get more Latinos, Asians, moderates, white folks, etc.? Right? They don't even consider you. And how do you know they don't consider you? Well, it's very simple. While they'll come to you and speak to you, and even that's starting to change, they will come and speak to you. They never speak to your needs. When they speak to us, family, what we get is rhetoric, glittering generalities, vagaries. We are a party that supports justice for the most downtrodden. Well, guess what? We're the most downtrodden. So that means you're supporting doing something particular for us? Well, not so fast. We recognize the long and enduring struggles of people of color under redlining and Jim Crow and mass incarceration. Oh, wait, that was us, ATOS. Not so fast. Everybody else gets politicians that come in front of them and tell them specifically what's going to be done for them. If you're an American Jew, one of the so-called Jews, they go before IPAC and bow down to you. If you're LGBTQIA plus, and I don't know what all the hell the letters mean anymore, so you get me, right? They come to you with specifics, with clear legislation. If you're ATOS, however, when pressed, they will give you vagaries, very broad, as Bookman said, ambiguous terms. And if you press them hard enough, they finally come out and they say, so I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to do something specifically for black people. No. Shalom, my beloved sister August. Happy Hump Day to you and welcome to the broadcast. They will dance with us. They will sing with us. They'll eat with us. Some of them will have sex with us. Matter of fact, Ed Buck and quite a few other ones, Jeremy Epstein and all of them will fuck us whether we want to be fucked or not. Right? They'll do all of this for us, these Democrats, except give us anything that we can hang our hats upon. Right, Code? They'll respond with anger. They'll say, why is it that you're asking Chameleon Harris about reparations? You didn't ask Joe Biden about reparations. Yes, we did. Well, why are you pressing on Joe Biden? You didn't say anything to Pete Buttigieg. Yes, we did. You know what? Y'all just won't give a Democrat an even shot. Pete Buttigieg is getting all these questions about reparations. You ain't saying nothing to Gillibrand. Yes, we did. Family, political affinity fraud has made us the perennial victims of the political system in America. Because I'm going to explain to you why. There are those of you who rightfully so do not wish to be aligned with anything MAGA related, right? Make America Great Again, Trump shit, okay? Understand though, Trump may be a Republican, but he's not the Republican Party. And I think we need to be a little bit more savvy in how we approach that thing. But the problem for us is twofold. Our vote being a captive vote for Democrats makes it likely that Republicans are just simply going to be apathetic to ATOS interests. Why would they put any political capital behind a group that they know for a certainty they won't get any more than maybe 8 to 10% of the vote from, nationally speaking? Right? So the Republicans don't even try for our vote, right? They make a home for rabid white supremacists and so on and so forth, right? Immigrants, etc. But the Democrats, because our vote is captive, because they have a hammerlock on our vote, they know they don't have to offer us a damn thing to get it. They can speak to us any old kind of way, treat us any old kind of way, tell us anything. And what does it matter? Our vote's still going to be there, Johnny on the spot, come election day. Everybody gets something to vote for. ATOS get told what to vote against by our political masters, the Democrats. Now, I want you to understand something here. I am not saying that you need to go vote Republican, because there's a lot of people out there trying to throw us in the lap of right-wingers. I can't in any way be responsible for that bullshit. All right? And I'm also not telling you to not vote. If you still feel like you need to vote down ballot because you have particular issues in your community, please make sure you do so. As a matter of fact, I'm going to come out publicly today and say, regardless of whether you vote in 2020 or not, I want all ATOS people to register to vote. There's my man. I've missed you. Boots on the ground, fam. Happy hump day to you and welcome to the broadcast. I want all of us to register to vote. I want you to get out there and register as many ATOS people to vote as you can get your hands on, regardless of whether there's a mass number of voters amongst us or not. I want all of us to be registered to vote. But I want you to understand that we have been the victims of affinity fraud. The Democrats pretend that they are for us. They talk with our talk. When they come to us, they speak in our cadences. They will eat what we eat. They will dance like we dance, or at least try to, right? And so on and so forth. Just long enough to siphon your vote away from you. And then once they've got their vote, you don't hear from them. The goods that you thought was going to be yours never materialize. Right? You remember what a lot of people told us when Barack Obama got elected? If you was in the hood when Barack Obama got elected, oh, it was a happy day. I remember conversations with people like that was like this. My nigga, my president is black. We about to get it. Hell, you remember what's the brother's name? Paul Mooney? Paul Mooney's like, my president is black. He was just losing his shit. Everybody was happier than Skippy eating peanut butter. Because we just knew that with a black face in the White House, we were straight, not straight, straight. Right, Code Ref? My Lambo is blue and my president is black. And then on top of that, most of us who were relatively politically savvy saw that you had a Democratic president in the White House, and you had a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate. So we thought it was Jubilee. Fam, pack your shit, because we in for the ride of a lifetime. We missed, though, the warning signs. We missed phrases like, well, you know, I'm not running to be the president of Black America. I'm running to be the president of America. Right? We missed that shit. Right? That was on like, you know, CNN tucked away in some broadcast somewhere. We wasn't trying to watch that shit. We was just happy because a motherfucker that looked like us ran. And not only that, but had a damn good chance to win it. And then when he won it, we lost our fucking minds. No due diligence, no questions, no nothing. You had a few voices that for 8 years were consigned to the wilderness, to the outer darkness. You had people like Tavis Smiley who said, wait a minute, man. Okay, I've been doing like state of the black union things for like forever. And we got Barack Obama in here, but shit don't seem to be changing. You had people like our esteemed brother Cornel West, who was saying, yeah, I think we might have been sold a bill of goods, fam. But the rest of us were good and thoroughly hoodwinked. Right? Because Barack played basketball and was known to sneak a puff off of a Newport every so often. And if I had to hear for the 10,000th time how fine Michelle Obama is.
You don't think she's fine?
Don't even get me started. But I've said it. Because all my people thought she was fine. That Barack Obama, he lucky to have a good-looking black woman like that. She's just a beautiful, tall drink of water. Yeah, about that. Right, Bookman? A black man in the White House with 2.2 children and a big-ass fence around 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Shit, it was like we had struck gold. Motherfuckers in their house had the picture of Jesus here, Martin Luther King here, and Barack Obama here. You know I'm telling the truth. And for 8 years, we watched as the decimation we suffered in 2008 with the collapse of the housing market and the economy along with it. Everybody else recovered, but we didn't. Right? We watched as Barack Obama eased up a little bit off of the Latinos, but started deporting Haitians and Africans. And Tavis Smiley and Cornel West, their name was Mud. For like 8 years, their name was Mud. Like, them niggas was persona non grata. Look it up. That's right. Our brother Barack gave trillions of dollars to the banks, bailed out the auto industry, and left black people high and fucking dry. Peace to you, Zulu and Two Triv. Happy Hump Day and welcome to the broadcast. Left us out to damn dry. Fam, it actually got worse, as August said. Under Barack Obama, business loans via the Small Business Administration actually dropped to a level lower than was in the previous administration. Do you know who the president was in the previous administration? It was Shrub. A damned Republican, the son of the archdemon Herbert Walker Bush. May he rest in hell. Black people had more business opportunities under Shrub than they had under Snowbama. That's right. Because Barack told us, oh, no. Doing something for black people, that's not how America works. Right? We missed all these warning signs. Family, how many of you are lucky enough to have a religious leader, an imam, a minister who will tell you the straight dope about the environment in which you live? Right? That isn't one of these bootlicks, one of these strivers. Barack had one, and not only had one, but had a damn fine one in Pastor Jeremiah Wright, who said, God damn America for the crimes they commit all across the world. He said, we bomb Libya, we bomb all these nations, and then we indignant when the same acts that we committed overseas comes right here into our own backyard. America's chickens are coming home to roost. He said violence begets violence. Hatred begets hatred. And terrorism begets terrorism. How many of y'all got ministers and pastors that speak like that? And yet Barack, when he saw his support among those white folks teetering on the edge, when they said, oh, did he say goddamn America? Threw that man under the bus so fast, it'll make your head spin. A man who had married him, a man who had mentored him, a man who supposedly gave him guidance, love, blessings, education, like a father. Kick rocks, nigga. We missed the warning signs. 2012 come along. How many of you in your neighborhood heard, now when this brother get in the second term, because I know he didn't really do a lot for us in the first term, because he lost the House and the Senate, with them damn Republicans and all this and that third, right? But when he get in the second term, he don't even have to give a fuck no more, fam. So he's gonna go hard in the paint for us then. How many of y'all heard that narrative or variations on that same theme? Just watch. When Brother Barack get back in there, boy, he ain't gonna have no kind of act right. These crackers gonna be sick with all the good stuff he gonna do for black folk. And then he get a second term and we still hear crickets from him. He gets a second term and we lose Jeremiah Crawford. We lose Tamir. We lose Trayvon. We lose Sandra Bland. We lose Sister Corinne. We lose Brother Walter Scott. We lose so damned many. So many. Just shot down. If you go on my old channel, I actually have an interview with Cody Gaines, Corinne's son, who talked about what happened when them cops came up in there and killed his mama. Peace to the little brother Cody. Shit shattered my heart to 1,000 pieces. And you know what Barack Obama did? He signed into law the Blue Lives Matter bill. Cops out here killing our people in the street like dogs. They stopped calling it murder, started calling it extrajudicial execution, and signed a law to protect the bastards doing it. That's right. He called our brothers and sisters in B-More thugs. Kim, you so damn right. By the way, let me shout out to Zay and Big Dre. Peace to y'all. Happy Hump Day and welcome to the broadcast. Karis, peace to you as well. You're damn right. But see, here's the thing. Karis, he wasn't a traitor. Because in order for Barack Obama to have been a traitor to us, he would have to be us. See, we didn't have the vocabulary. We didn't have the language to describe just what the difference between us and Barack Obama actually is. Philando, Alton, Rakia, right? The names go on and on. We lost what? In 2015, we lost what? 415 of us? Mike Brown, Eric Garner, Freddie Gray. Man, our brother Walter Scott was shot 5 times in the motherfucking back running from a policeman because he was scared he was going to go back to jail because he was behind on child support. The man was a goddamn Navy veteran. Thank you, Double C's. Obama shook hands with Muammar Gaddafi, who, by the way, if you don't know, Muammar Gaddafi actually offered to provide our leaders, or at least some of the leaders we have here, with money and resources to be able to develop our communities. And offered it as a free gift. He said it is just to help the black people of the United States. You need resources, I got you. He shook hands with Obama. Obama rewarded him with bombings and with a takeover. And you know how Muammar died? Muammar died with a knife shoved up his ass. That's how he died. Every goddamn thing that Obama touched that could have had any benefit, any direct benefit to ATOS people turned to absolute smoke and mirrors, or it turned into shit. But he was never us. So he wasn't betraying us. See, if your man Mark Black ever turns against you, first of all, I'll put a bullet in my head if I ever do it. But if I was to ever turn against you, that is a betrayal. Because I am ATOS. I share your lineage. Barack Obama ain't nobody to us. He never was. And the crazy part about it is, fam, is now that we have glommed on to this idea of cleaving to our unique lineage, to paying attention to our ancestry and our heritage, we can finally see that he didn't do anything for us because he was never obligated to, because he was never us. He was never one of us. What he was, thank you, Slow Bleed. I'm glad to have you as one of the angry black sheep. Welcome to the fold. What he was a chameleon. He cloaked himself in ATOS-ness, right? We love to see Barack Obama bumping Jay-Z while he playing basketball on the court, right? We love to see him and Michelle out on the town dressed up in their after six clothing. To see them with them two little beautiful kids. And because of that, because of his wearing our lineage like a cloak, he was able to pretend affinity with us so that he could defraud us of the one thing that he wanted from us, which was our support, our vote. I hope that I've clearly established that that's what this whole damn thing was all about. Under Barack Obama, civil unions gave way to gay marriage. Under Barack Obama, the stock market exploded like never before. Under Barack Obama, the banks were saved, the car industry saved. Everybody in this country can look back on his presidency and say, damn, he was one of the best presidents we ever had. Let me ask you a quick question, ATOS. How many of us, no, scratch that, can we collectively look back on Barack Obama's regime as anything more than more of the same under the 43 presidents that came before him? Can any of us at this point claim with a straight face that we as a collective done anything different or better under Barack Obama's presidency than any other presidency? That's right, August. He said, I'm just going to accept them calling me an African American. He knew he wasn't. He said, but I'll accept that. If it'll get them to give me their votes and it get them to shut up, they can call me whatever the hell they want. Hell, at least Shrub, like Miss Denny said, Shrub gave us checks. They bombed the World Trade Center. Shrub was like, You may take our lives, but you'll never take our money. Get them niggas checks. Damn RBR, I don't care. That's right. Barack the Magic Negro. Fast forward though, fam, to 2019, to today. We now have been given the language, the ideology needed to combat our enemies. You right, Mr. Shaw, I need some water instead of drinking this damn soda. Right? Peace, by the way, Tommy and Mr. Show. Happy Hump Day to you and welcome to the broadcast. Peace, by the way, Maiden Day. We now have the linkages that we need to ensure that a Barack Obama will never happen to us again. Ever. So what do these dumbass Democrats do? They figure, why not stick with a winning strategy? And they present us with Chameleon Harris, a.k.a. Snowbomber 2.0. Somebody that when you look at their record has shown nothing but antipathy to ATOS interests. She has locked us up and has no problem with locking us up. The only thing she does better than persecuting ATOS people is flat backing her way into various positions. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? Okay. But you know what I'm saying. By the way, peace now, Asha. Welcome to the broadcast and happy Hump Day to you. But we're not allowed, family, to criticize Chameleon Harris. Because I, as a black man, do not have any valid criticism of her record, of her policies. No. I'm criticizing her because she's married to a white man. Oh, no, that's not it. I'm criticizing her because she ain't black enough. I confused. So I can't say anything about this woman's record, her long history of antipathy to our interests. I can't acknowledge that her policies do nothing specifically to aid my people. I can't have an opinion per Simone Sanders' gorilla looking ass. No. I hate her because her husband white. Is this damn thing on? Like I'm checking. Right? Like we ATOS folk have thrown actual money and resources behind Marianne Williamson, who last time I checked was white as the goddamn day is long. But somehow or another, we questioning the blackness of Chameleon Harris? Huh? Like, said nobody ever. But again, fam, pay attention to the attempt of the Democrats to kingmaker. Just like they did with Barack Obama, right? Introducing him to us on the slide during the 2003 Democratic National Convention at the keynote address. A goddamn community organizer from Chicago, a political nobody, gets to give the keynote address at the damn DNC convention? He was king made. He gets elected to be junior senator from Illinois, doesn't even serve out his entire term as senator before he becomes president. He was king made. Kamala Harris goes in and attacks Joe Biden, and it's this big hullabaloo. But then some people are talking about the fact that she doesn't appear to be having a black agenda that we can identify with, and questioning who the hell she is. And every single political candidate on the Democratic slate all comes out in her defense, including the person that she put on political blast on national TV. They're attempting to king make this bitch. And I'm promising you, ATOS, that unless you get behind the idea that our votes belong only to us to be used to fuel our interests, and no agenda means you don't even get to sniff the vote. I don't give a damn if you're running for dog catcher. I don't care if you're running for city council. I don't care what you're running for. If you're not in full-throated, full-bore, unapologetic support of a black agenda, which starts with reparations, we got nothing to talk about. Because, family, I promised you that I would talk about this. Everybody with Chameleon gets tangibles, right? If you're middle class, you get a chance at actually owning a home, right? Because that program that she announced to a resounding applause at Essence Fest doesn't do shit specifically for black people, but it will damn sure benefit quite a few millennials who will have in-life transfers of wealth and also will be the inheritors of the next generation of wealth as their boomer forebears die. It'll help them to get homes at a cheaper rate. It'll help to advance the already rapid gentrification of our communities and our neighborhoods. It'll help them with that. But our striver, aspirational, sedity Negroes at Essence Fest were like selling us out to a resounding applause. She got plans for everybody. But she's not going to do shit for you. If we knew nothing else, family, understand, if we knew nothing else about Kamala Harris, Chameleon Harris, right? If we knew nothing else about her, if she was never trying to cloak herself in our lineage, right? If we didn't have issues with her sleeping with Willie Brown on her way to the various offices that propelled her into being a DA and AG and all this other shit, right? If she didn't have horrible fucking policies and a horrible record of locking black people up, if we knew nothing else about Kamala Harris, all we would need to know is that she's not going to do anything specifically to benefit us as ATOS people, as ATOS. Enough said. Move the fuck on. We don't have nothing to talk about. That goes for Biden, Gillibrand, O'Rourke, Castro, Booty Grease, Biden, Shawwell before he dropped out of the race. That goes for them all. We have been the victims of a political affinity fraud that has played on us for decades. And we have seen the price of giving our vote politically, our political power to this party. We have seen the results of it. We have schools that are dilapidated in communities with decaying infrastructure. We have family. We have ATOS people that live in sewage, that have hookworm. We have tens of thousands of ATOS homeless folk all over the country We have given them political power for decades with no questions. No questions asked. A captive vote, as they say. And what have we gotten for it? We've got Flint, right? We got Loudest County in Mississippi. There are brothers and sisters right now down in New Orleans who are concerned that with this new hurricane coming, the surge might breach the damn levees again. How many of our people back when Shrub was president got kicked out of New Orleans because they got sent to Houston and they got sent here and sent there as refugees? Last time I checked, refugees come from outside your country, not from within it. Democrats didn't have shit to say about that. Family, they are not us. How do you defend against affinity fraud? It's very simple. You vet everybody. Everybody. All my people in Houston. You have Willie D running for the city council there in Houston. I too am a huge fan of the Ghetto Boys, right? Shout out to Bushwick. Shout out to Scarface. Shout out to Willie D. Love their music. I don't give a damn about their music though when it comes to my politics. No applause. No petting the brother. Vetting mode engaged. Yes, even Willie D. You, my people in Houston, want to know what his policies, benefits, agenda is for ATOS people specifically. Damn what he's talking about doing for the rest of Houston. What is going to be his agenda for you? And if Willie D can't speak to an agenda that benefits you and yours specifically, then damn that Negro. If he want to try to play us, well, like the Ghetto Boys told me, you got to let a hoe be a hoe. Go out there and hold your ass off to everybody else in Houston. Because if you ain't talking about doing nothing for us, we ain't got time to mess with you. To my ATOS people in Cali, why is Maxine Waters going to be going back to the House when you've got 34,000 people homeless down there, right? That's just in LA. That's not talking about the roughly 43,000 ATOS people that are homeless in San Fran. That's not talking about the nearly 30,000 that are homeless in Sacramento. My ATOS family in California got work to do. You've been handing off your vote to Democrats like you're allergic to votes. Like, ooh, get this vote off me. And you got your people sleeping out in tents on the streets. To my ATOS brothers and sisters in Texas, you've been handing out your votes to Democrats like it's candy. Meanwhile, who is it that's trying to stream across your borders? Down in El Paso and other border towns there in your state. And every single one of your Democrats, every single one of the Democrats on the slate, when asked, do they support essentially open borders, every one of them to a one raised their hand during the debates. If you didn't see it, you missed a treat. Because they essentially handed the election to Donald Trump at that moment, regardless of who their nominee is. Because ATOS people ain't the only people in this country that have an issue with both legal and illegal immigration. We never forget. I hear you, brother BGS. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, no matter who it is that ultimately gets the seat, all of them, all of them, all of them can get this work. See, fam, I need you to understand something. I've said it before. Because of the way that the political atmosphere is currently here for us in America, trying to push for more ATOS representation in the various legislatures and things like that on a local level is good. But when you get to a national level, it starts to peter out because essentially you're putting those people at a table where nobody's trying to feed them. The only thing that we will be able to do politically that will be effective is what we always have done, and that is gather numbers and apply pressure, lots and lots of pressure. And it doesn't matter if they have a D after their name, and it doesn't matter if they have an R after their name. Everyone can get this smoke. By the way, salute to my esteemed elder brother, BGS. I'm honored to have you here. Happy Hump Day and welcome to the broadcast. They no longer can fake affinity with us. ATOS has given us the one weapon that we have needed to ensure that all of us can stand and be counted for our interests and our interests alone. No one can play that game with us anymore of, oh yeah, I'm just like you. You know, gay is the new black. No. Hell no. Right? You know, hey, I'm down with you black people too, right? My people is native. What is your agenda specifically, tangibly, to the benefit of me and mine? It's the simplest, easiest political question we've ever had to ask. The simplest. Family, your conversations now should be so easy with these soft, racist, liberal white folks. Your conversation should be easy as pie. Oh yeah, that sounds really good what you're saying there, Mr. White Man. So let me ask you a question. Do you support reparations up to and including cash payments for the American descendants of slavery? Oh, you don't, huh? Yeah, about that whole signing on to, for the Green New Deal. Yeah, I can't. Good luck, though. Oh, yeah, well, that thing about the immigrants you're saying, that's amazing. Like, that's crazy. Like, we need to address that. I'm certain about it, right? Let me ask you a question. Do you support reparations up to and including cash payments for the American descendants of slavery? Oh, you don't, huh? Man, it sucks what's happening to those immigrants at the border, isn't it? Easy. Fam, this becomes the easiest conversations you will ever have moving forward from 2020 to 2022 to 2024 until they pay us our due. Your conversations are short, sweet, and to the point. We are single issue voters. Do you support reparations up to and including cash payments for the American descendants of slavery? By the way, they don't get more than about 10 seconds to answer that question. We don't need a bunch of, we've had Jim Crow and because Kamala tried that, right? Chameleon tried that. You remember the interview she did with the griot, that sister from the griot? And she says, we've had like 200 years of chattel slavery. Who is this we of which this bitch speaks, I might ask? Right? Because last time I checked, it wasn't her. It was my ancestors. Right? But I digress. We had 200 years of Jim Crow. And then we had like another 150 years of, of this and that and the third, right? And we've had redlining and we've had all of this stuff. And we need to do something to address the injustices that we have had to face in this country for so long. Okay, I'm listening, but that still don't sound like a yes to reparations. Right? She was back. I'm telling you, fam. She was standing there and she ran off the whole litany because the Dems are really good about that. Like, they can't pretend to not know the history of ATOS people. They cannot pretend because they used our history to support everybody else's aims. They use our history to equivocate what happened at Stonewall in the 1970s at a goddamn gay bar to gay people. They use our history to talk about what's happening at the border. So they can't come to us with this shit. Well, we didn't know. Of course you know. You use our history for everybody's struggle. So we don't need a history lesson from each of these candidates. We don't need them to run down all the shit that our ancestors and us have had to face. We don't need that. We need a simple yes or no. And we need that shit to be full-throated, unapologetic, and on point. Say what you will about Ilhan Omar. But when she was asked the question, do you support reparations for the American descendants of slavery? The answer from her was quick, fast, and in a hurry. Yes. Now, she had some other stuff to say. She's a politician. Of course, they always got something else to say. But that's an answer I can rock with. Because now we can start having a conversation. Now that question has been answered to the affirmative, now we have a basis for discussion. And like the elder brother BGS said, we need that shit in writing. ATOS family, we need to be on board with some, y'all remember back in 94 when the Republicans swept both the House and the Senate, Newt Gingrich and Bob Dole and the whole lot of them. What was that thing they had, that contract with America, right? Y'all remember that? For those of you who are boomers, our Xers or boomers. Because you younger folks might not have been around when that was going on, right? But for us Xers and boomers, y'all remember the contract with America, that conservative contract with America? Damn it, I want that. I want that shit in writing. I want to be able to hold in my hand, oh, congratulations on your election. Now that you've been elected, you remember this? I don't want to present the motherfuckers with receipts. I want to present them with the invoice. Oh, you remember this? Yeah. We want that shit in writing. Full bore, unapologetic, full-throated support for our agenda. And our agenda starts with reparations. It starts with reparations, fam. Do not get it twisted. For those of you who think that ATOS, the American descendants of slavery, should only be about reparations, you're sadly mistaken. The remediation, the restoration, and the repair of our people starts with reparations. But it doesn't end there. I promise you, the day they cut the check, that's when your brother Mark Black's work has just begun. That is when you'll actually hear me actually come out and talk on some major shit. That's when we'll be having the real conversations. Thank you, the Cool Man. By the way, shout out to the Cool Man, because I want to tell you something. Kamala Harris is a senator. If she really gave so much of a damn about ATOS, where's the legislation that she's sponsoring right there in the Senate? Courtney Booker is a senator. Where's this legislation that he has specifically for the American descendants of slaves? of slavery, sorry. Right? How many of these people running already have positions? Bernard Sanders is a senator. Where's that legislation at, Bernie? I'm sorry, fam. I'm not feeling the burn. I need to feel the heat of that legislation shooting its ass away from your hands with co-sponsors, shooting its way out of committee into the damn floor of the Senate. Don't come telling me that I got to wait to get your ass elected president to finally get something about you. You sitting in the damn Senate or the House right now. I need to be getting something about you right now. Put 5 on it before I put you in the White House. Put 5 pieces of legislation on the table for us, specifically for us, before you start coming to me talking about you want my vote for president. I'm supposed to make you the leader of the free world, but you ain't done shit for me. And you sitting in the House? You sitting in the Senate? Damn, what you talking about? No more political scams. Family, no more political affinity. It has already been clearly established. The Republicans are not us. The Democrats are not us. They are 2 wings on the same white supremacist bird, which means that our interactions with them have to be based on one thing: tit for tat. Quid pro quo. What are you putting in on the uplift, the maintenance, the sustenance, the remediation, and the repair and the restoration of ATOS? If there's no yeses to that question, we literally have nothing to discuss. Family, we've made politics as ATOS proponents and advocates. We have made politics for you so easy at this point that everybody should be on board with it. This should not be a bunch of goddamn discussion. This should not be like herding cats. We have made it so simple for you that even a political neophyte should be able to be doing something right now to advocate for our justice claim. I've given you the tool. One simple question: are you in full support of a comprehensive reparations package up to and including cash payments for the American descendants of slavery? End quote. They got to bring ass to get ass. And if you already sitting in a position of political power, I need to see some legislation being sponsored from you that's going to hit the floor and get a vote before we can even have a discussion. This isn't rocket science. Let's talk about it, family. 425-296-1980. The line is open. One call at a time, right? Family, I'm not trying to see you get bopped no more. No more affinity scams. Everybody gets vetted. Everybody gets vetted. If they running for chief pooper scooper, we want to know what your stance is on an agenda for ATOS. 425-296-1980. It's your turn to talk. Shout out to my man Leroy, by the way. Happy Hump Day and welcome to the broadcast. I see you, fam. Onyx, good to see you, fam. Welcome to the broadcast. Try to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Man, I'm so honored by the elder brother BGS, the Douglas plan. That's right. We need to be hearing some true talk from these people. No more bullshit. No more affinity bullshit. None of that. We're not having it. Sorry, caller from 917. Go ahead and call back. It didn't look like I had Skype open. Go ahead and give me a call back. Y'all own it today, fam. That's right. Reparations first. What you got on our agenda, period. And I want it in writing. I don't want to have to be coming to chase you down later. I don't want you to be saying, well, I know we had this conversation, but what I meant to say was, no, damn all that. We're not playing, fam. We not playing. Producer asked me, he said, I have to spend a lot of my time arguing with my own brothers and sisters who give me pushback. Do I deal with that every day? I do. And producer, you know how I address it? It's simple. I was introduced recently to a policy that I am adopting. It's called the 2/3 policy. And that just simply means that I keep it in my mind that 2/3 of us just ain't gonna fucking make it. If we're depending on them and their efforts, we're sunk. We only need about 1/3 of us for a critical mass anyway, right? Let's say, for even numbers' sake, producer, that we make up 30 million. Now, of course, we make up more than 30 million of the population here in the United States, but I like round even numbers. You feel me? So let's say we make up 30 million. What's 1/3 of 30 million? That math should be easy. It's 10 million. If 10 million ATOS marched on Washington, I can guarantee you any damn thing we claim we want is going to get done. Or it's going to be some trouble. That good trouble that John, I've been getting my ass kicked in Selma be talking about all the time. AJ, how was you shocked? How was you shocked? Most of the presidents that we had elected, except for the immigrant ones, have had slaves. I would argue that any president that comes from a white person who didn't come through Ellis Island and all of that, or came over during the potato famine and so on and so forth, all of them, look, I'm not shocked at all that McConnell descends from slave masters, right? First of all, if you couldn't tell from his clear antipathy to ATOS, you were, I don't know where the hell you've been hiding, right? None of that disturbs me. What bothers me, what pisses me off, is that we are not holding the butter biscuit, boule, bootlick, traitorous media class among black people to account. We're not holding them to account because they're still caping for Barack Obama ass. When Barack Obama and his lack of advocacy for reparations is what's giving McConnell his political goddamn cover. Mitch better have my money. That's all I got to say on it. Mitch better have my money. I'm not shocked that Obama's white side of the family hails from people who own slaves. There's so many white folk in this country that try to tell us, well, my family never owned slaves. Really? The burden of proof at this point is on you. You know how some of us talk about suspected white supremacists? You know, those of us who mess with Tariq, we talk about suspected white supremacists. At this point, every white person in this country, unless you can establish clearly your family came over here through Ellis Island, all of you are suspected descendants of slave owners. All of you. I bet you if we had genealogists running the background checks of so many people in Congress, we'd find descendants of so many damn slave masters, it wouldn't be funny. That shouldn't get us messed up. Because like producer said, Mitch's stupid ass doesn't even realize that he's actually forwarding our justice claim. Because we can point directly at Mitch McConnell and show the clear benefit of his ancestors having owned our ancestors to him today. Dumbass. Thank you, Mitch McConnell. The only thing I want to hear from you is when you running us our shit. I'm on some old AMG. Mitch better have my money. Family, the Democrats screwed us 3 ways to Sunday. Because think about it. All of the fucked up shit that you know of in modern day time that has happened to ATOS people has happened under the administrations of Democratic presidents. Think about it, fam. Sure, Herbert Walker, the archdevil Bush, was the person who started, along with Reagan, putting crack cocaine and shit into our neighborhoods, poisoning our communities. That was heinous as hell. But it took a Biden and a Clinton to criminalize that and incarcerate and put under correctional care millions of ATOS people. Only a goddamn Democrat could do that. Shrub could damn nearly bankrupt the nation, sending us to war to fight over in Iraq and Afghanistan. But it took a Barack Obama to pay all those fools back and deny us those resources. Every damn thing that ever happens to the detriment of ATOS people that you can go back as far as Carter and remember, all has happened under a damn Democratic president. Who was it that took AFDC, a program that was working just fine for 60 years, and turned it into TANF? Wasn't that William Jefferson Clinton?
It was indeed.
A damn Democrat? Who took food stamps and all that other stuff and made it to where you could only get it for 5 years during your entire lifetime? William Jefferson Clinton. Who was it that allowed the repeal of the Glass-Steagall Act? So they took our savings out of savings banks and credit unions and savings and loans and handed it to goddamn financial behemoths like Chase, JP Morgan Chase, like Wells Fargo. That was Clinton. That caused the first damn internet bubble where all you had to do was buy a damn domain name, dogfuckery.com, and put your business out there as an IPO and make billions. That was under Clinton. Before we get all screwed up about the hatred of the Republicans and so on and so forth, they can do us dirty, but it takes a Democrat to do us real dirty. If Herbert Walker Bush had tried doing what Clinton was able to do to us, we would have been rioting in the streets. But Clinton played the sax. He was the first black president. He was on Arsenio Hall. You know I'm going to tell the truth, fam. I'm not going to lie about a damn thing to you. The Republicans can do us dirt. No doubt. They have. And they will continue to do so as long as they're able to do so. But to really cut you deep, to really screw you over, no. That takes a Democrat. Shrub puts us in Iraq and Afghanistan. Millions of people out in the street protesting. Barack Obama gets elected. Does a troop surge. So puts even more troops over in Iraq and Afghanistan. Silence. We hypersensitive to whatever the Republicans might do to affect us because we don't see us as Republicans. We don't have an affinity with them. You really want to screw over ATOS people, though? Up until today, identify as a Democrat and you can do anything you want to them. That's a fact. Barack Obama supposedly did something for black people by dropping the crack cocaine sentencing disparity on the federal level from 100 to 1 to 19 to 1. As president, he could have just simply advocated that there be no sentencing disparity and release all the prisoners who served time under the old standard. Why didn't he do that? But I'm supposed to be afraid of Donald Trump, who not only said, I want Congress to pass the First Step Act, but the day it hits my desk, I'm signing it. But I'm supposed to be afraid of the big bad orange man. I ain't afraid of Trump. Why should I be afraid of him? So he gave tax cuts to his buddies. Didn't Barack Obama give tax cuts to the rich too?
Indeed.
Right? Barack Obama was the gift that keeps on giving to white America because he provides cover for every fucking crime they want to commit against ATOS. And if you give Chameleon Harris the opportunity, she'll allow them to do even worse to us. And the crazy part about it is that we won't get to question her for shit. Because now anybody who questions her, she's a candidate. A candidate. Do you understand, family? She has not even gotten the damn nod from the Democrats. And she's supposed to be above reproach? She's beyond question? Can you imagine if she gets the nod and gets elected? And then you got this bitch, Frederica Williams or whatever, that cowboy hat wearing ass Congress bitch, who said that people who criticize members of Congress and the government should be locked up. A black woman who's advocating for essentially the neglect of the First Amendment. These damn Democrats have become anarchists. They said, fuck the law, fuck, like, you know what I'm saying, upholding immigration law, fuck upholding local, state, and federal law, fuck the First Amendment, fuck the Second Amendment. Like, damn, fam. Do we have, let me ask you a question, seriously, fam. By the way, lines open, 425-296-1980. Right? But let me ask you a question real quick, fam. Do we really have anything left in common with the Democrats anymore? I'm asking that seriously. Now, I know some of us are LGBTQIA and the Democrats advocate for you. That's okay. I understand if you still have an affinity with them, right? I know that some of us are part ATOS and have other lineages as a part of their descent, right? Maybe they are part immigrant and part ATOS. Right? Now, that means they're ATOS, right? Because if they have one lineal ancestor who was enslaved, they're ATOS, whether we like that or not. Okay? But you may think that the Democrats might speak to the issues of your immigrant side of your family, okay? But the vast majority of us who are just straight up ATOS, do we really have anything left in common? Can we really claim that we have an affinity with these bastards anymore? They only want to uphold the law when it comes to us. You get pulled over, they want to see driver's license, proof of registration, insurance. They want your damn shoe size, the size of your drawers. They want to run a finger between the cracky ass and your balls. Meanwhile, if your name was Julio Gonzalez, they can't even ask you questions. What do we have in common with these bastards anymore? They don't want to uphold the law at all. So we're supposed to be certain that legislation that might affect us, they're going to honor it? The word's no good. You threatening to lock Americans up for criticizing politicians? This ain't Uzbekistan. Somebody should have told that bitch this ain't a dictatorship. This is a representative democracy, a damn republic. Bitch, you don't get to lock people up because they call you stupid. Four two five 1980, fam. I want to hear from you. How many I got watching? I appreciate all of you, by the way. Every single damn one of you. 63 live right now and ain't got a single call. Y'all failing. This ain't no damn one-sided conversation. I know y'all like to hear Brother Black go in. I have a tendency toward the petty, and I've indulged that quite often. But this is a conversation, a discussion. 425-296-1980. Holla at your man. Little lady, what happened to the First Amendment? If you let the Democrats, you let them tell it, damn the First Amendment. Did you hear about the brother, by the way? I think it was in Austin. Got shot by this white man. White man was accosting his woman. And so he goes up to defend his woman, and the white dude shot him down. Family, I'm going to need y'all to understand something. A white man once told me that his Second Amendment rights protect all the rest of his rights. But you don't have to take a white man's word for it. None other than our sister Ida B. Wells said that the Winchester rifle should have the place of honor in every black household to ensure that we get the justice we should get when the government will not. Family, when you have interactions with our fellow white citizens, make sure you're wearing protection. I'm sorry, Mr. Shaw. I haven't ignored no calls, fam. If you call in right now, I'll be able to take it. I didn't have the app open, so go ahead and hit me up. Right? Make sure you're wearing your protection. Right? So that way you're not the one going home fucked. I'm not telling you to advocate for violence. I'm not advocating for violence. I'm advocating for you to stop dying willy-nilly. I don't need to see no more bodies hitting the ground simply because y'all trying to live. Our fellow citizens are making it clear that the more we push, right, the louder and more strident we become, the more violent they're willing to become. They keep telling us that reparations is divisive. And you're increasing the racial divide in this country. Good evening, K Jr. Welcome to the broadcast. Okay, you know what? I'm about to close this damn thing. Not the broadcast. I'm about to close this stupid app and reopen it. Give me just a second, fam. I'm going to make sure this damn thing is working. Because I want to hear from my peoples. And you know I can't go for this okie doke. Thank y'all all, by the way, for y'all's patience. I appreciate you. Okay, fam, go ahead and try to call in. I know, Cease, you've been trying to call in. Mr. Show, fam, I want to hear from you. So go ahead and try to give me a call. 425-296-1980. It should be working now. K Jr. says, who do you think we should write in? Do you think we should write in ATOS on the 2020 census? Yes. But I also think that since it's not going to be on the census, go ahead and please continue to check Black or African American. And then in the little field below where you can write in like the letters, write in ATOS or ATOS. If you can put in American descendant of slavery, do that, right? I intend to. I'm going to mark Black, African American, and write in ATOS or ATOS. Right? I want to make sure that there's clarity as to what my lineage is, what I identify as. Now, fam, don't get it twisted. If those of you who read Dr. Darity's report, 40 Acres and a Mule in the 21st Century, right? He gives a clear standard as to who would qualify under a comprehensive reparations scheme. And the qualifications are basic. If you can trace or have lineal descent from one enslaved ancestor, just one, right? Doesn't matter which side of your family. So all of you out there who's worried about white folks getting in on it, those white folks will have to be white folks that have been identifying as black folks, because the next standard is that for 10 years before the advent of the reparations scheme, you have to have been identified or identifying yourself as black, colored, Negro, African American on official documentation, right? So any white looking nigga out there that's been identifying as one of us and has that lineal descent, then they qualify under a comprehensive. Here we go. Thank you. All right. Caller from 917. It's your man Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
Peace.
Peace.
Hello?
Yes.
Peace. What's going on, Brother Black?
Hey, what's happening, C's? How you do, man?
I'm doing good.
Talk to us, fam. What's on your mind?
I'm in, I'm sorry. I think I was hearing the playback and I was a few seconds behind.
No, it's all good, fam. It's all good.
Okay.
What's good?
What was good? I was saying just a few things. Things like I've seen Joy Reid. That's got to be that's like required interview. Definitely got to see that interview. I haven't seen it yet, but I got to see that interview. She was on the Breakfast Club this morning. As far as you was talking about, I'm glad you brought that up. As far as staying strapped, I live in the Northeast, where it's a little tougher to be strapped legally. So if you live in a state where you can have it, you need to make that your preference. You need to make that your business to get strapped. For your family, for yourself and your family, because everybody else be,
Yeah.
It also reminds me, I think last year at Kroger's, there was some guy that killed some old people. He tried to go into a church and killed an older black couple.
Absolutely.
And he pulled up on a young brother. And the brother was opening fire on him.
Absolutely.
And the Kroger parking lot neutralized him.
Fam,
they don't talk about that too much, but that's what's up.
What about our little brother that just got his throat slit because this fool heard him listening to rap music?
Yeah.
Fam, you have to start practicing situational awareness. Now, you shouldn't have to do this as a citizen, so don't get it twisted. Mark Black is not saying this because you should have to do this. But I'm telling you, fam, you have to know where the hell you are and who's around you. You can't assume that any white person walking nearby you or around you doesn't mean you no harm. You could be out there listening to your radio, listening to your music, minding your business, and they run up on you. You need to be having your peace. You need protection. You need that because you need to ensure that justice is served there for you. Because America has made it clear they're not trying to see justice being served for you. So if you want justice, you will have to make justice happen.
What else? Like getting skills together. Like let's just say we have let's just say it went through tomorrow. Do we have enough electricians?
Yeah.
Do we have enough carpenters? Do we have enough machinists, tool and die makers? Do we have enough HVAC guys?
All that.
You know what I'm saying? That's another thing, because I hear one of the things that really hurts us as the people that really care, and it's just the upright ATOS as people that's not against Farrakhan, like the founders, not against Claude Anderson and Boyce Watkins. I'm not even going to say their names, but you know who I'm talking about, the founders, and they kind of like alienate people. Your rank and file people like ourselves, and we have to make sure that when I hear them talking about the wealth gap and how the Haitians got $1,500, and to me that's embarrassing. That you can even, I wouldn't even use that. I don't even see that is relevant, because a grown person with some discipline needs to get you a second job. If you ain't worth more than $1,500, then you have to start doing things that's going to put yourself in a better position. Can't say, these people $700.
I agree with you. But understand something, man. You got a lot of folk. Okay, so I've been looking at the numbers real hard lately, right? Because it's something that's been eating at me. And I haven't quite put my finger on how I want to express it to the family, which is why I haven't really discussed it on a broadcast. But the high amount or high rate of unemployment, especially for ADOS males, right?
Hmm.
Because believe it or not, right, the numbers for unemployment for both white folks and black folks is underreported, right? That's just is what it is. It's a fact, all right?
Hmm.
But that said, the numbers for white folks is relatively close, right? We're talking like I would say not even a whole percentage point off the official numbers, okay? But the numbers for ADOS folk are ridiculous. When you look at places like Bmore, Philly, Newark, New York, even the ATL, right? Places where we predominate or have, a large ADOS population. When you look at the cohort, the age cohort between 18 and 24, right? This is the young brothers who's trying to get into the job market, right? They're trying to get some skills. They're new booty, right? They got very little. They're low skilled workers, right? The unemployment rate in those areas for those brothers of that age, man, is somewhere
80%,
upwards in the
70,
neighborhood of 50%.
No, I think over 80. Places like Chicago, I live near North. It says like 80, but it ain't no 50%. It ain't no 50% in North. Because you use North as an example, I live close to North. I know what you're saying. That's
Yeah.
what I was saying
So
about getting the skills.
so understand
Because
when
if
I
you get
tell
the, okay,
you
go, my bad.
that it may come down to ultimately us having to find other ways to be able to gain the skills we need, right?
Yeah.
Now there's still some brothers, some older brothers in the community, right, that worked in union jobs, that have been machinists, that have been carpenters, brick
I am.
masons,
I am.
cement
That's why I use
masons,
it. That's why I said it.
right, and things like that. Um,
Uh-huh.
we need to find some way to organize these brothers into training cabals, right? Training units or cadre, if you will, that can provide skills training to young brothers that is kind of outside of the whole union piece, right? Because with the advent of a lot of immigrants coming in who will work for well under even, you know, apprentice wages, depending
Hmm.
on the particular trade, to expect that they will all of a sudden have an increase without it being forced by government or by politics, right? To train our brothers in trades and things like that is just, I'll be honest, it doesn't appear to be viable currently. We need politics, and we need politics like water. We need it like yesterday, right? Which is precisely why ATOS is here to help us to understand that politics affects everything we do. And without political pressure, without making the political efforts, without doing the political work, we will find that our opportunities and our resources will continue to constrict because 2053 approaches, fam. When that time comes, if we have not done anything toward this justice claim, it's not looking good for the home team. This is not me being a pessimist. This is me being a realist, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
I
sure,
agree with
sure.
you. We definitely need to be finding the ways to get skills to our young people, especially the younger brothers. But we may have to start organizing that in a way that accounts for the current political reality that we're experiencing as ADOS. Fam, did you have anything else that you wanted to drop on us? Anything else you wanted to talk
Yeah,
about?
but when you was I wanted to chime in about as far as it'd be nice what you were saying as far as getting the brothers because I'm one of those I'm a union brother myself and there's a lot of brothers but again they gotta have this they gotta have that and it's not always the easiest for them to get in but
Yeah,
that's not the only way because the thing about the unions is that they're doing the big construction anyway
yeah,
so it's not even like they can get into it get into doing painting the Brooklyn Bridge or some shit like that. I'm talking about some basic. You get out there. If you this is the thing. If you're underemployed, if you work less than 30 hours, you're considered underemployed. Because a few years ago, I'm in the union. So a few years ago, I was out of work for a little while, and I went back to school. That's why I mentioned machinists. I went back to school to become a machinist. I did it was a Barack Obama policy, actually. They was doing advanced manufacturing, computer technology,
Right. So you
and
do
medical.
CNC milling and shit, right?
No, I'm an HVAC guy. But
Oh.
I'm saying, I'm giving you an example of how you can get the skills, because you were saying how we couldn't, and I'm like, okay, wanted to wait till you was finished to clear that up, because maybe you didn't know, because I'm in
Sharpen
that.
me up, fam.
Yeah, no, y'all okay? That's what I'm doing, my brother, for sure. So I was out of work, and I went to it. Took a course 7 weeks. By the time it was time for me to start one of these jobs, I was called back. So I went back to work. But this is the thing. When I was in it, I learned. And I learned that if you work less than 30 hours a week, that's considered part-time. And if it's considered part-time, then you qualify to go learn HVAC. You qualify to go learn auto mechanics through the Department
I
of
would
Labor.
even recommend that brothers get into electrical stuff, especially with the advent of green technology like wind turbines and VARTs, solar panels, PV, battery banks, and things like that.
Yeah.
I would love to see
Yeah.
ATOS become the green energy go-to people. You know what I'm saying? When they start talking about, putting any real impetus behind what might potentially be a Green New Deal, I would like for us to be the go-to on that. You know what I'm saying? I study all the time wiring structures, vertical axis wind turbines, solar
nice.
panels, concentrated solar, and all sorts of technologies that are out there that, should we start making that move from fossil fuels, are going to be the technologies of the future. You see what I'm saying? There's so much that ATOS has come to bring us. Like I said, reparations, fam, is only the beginning. We have so much, right, that we're pushing to see happen. You feel me?
So being that we are pushing, and being that we kind of gelling and we kind of having the appropriate type of intersectionality. We ain't got an intersectionality with the liberals and all their debauchery and all their foolishness. We have it, the Hebrews, the Muslims, all we ADOS kind of putting the shields down, and we're kind of working together. And while we are working together, I just want to see us start doing some things that's like we can do. Like I said, under 30 hours, you can go to school. Photovoltaic, electrical. It doesn't really matter what trade it is. Something that's transferable. Something you can get up, do in Minnesota. Something you can get up,
do me a favor,
do in
fam.
Canada.
When this broadcast is over, hit me up at blackoutcastmedia@gmail. All right? Send me some information, and I'll go over it, because you know me. I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Right? So
I'm gonna do that. So was the Black Outcast Media Gmail?
Yep, blackoutcastmedia@gmail.
I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you right now.
All right, I appreciate that, fam.
Peace out, baby.
Peace. Great call, fam. Great call. See, this is what I'm talking about, family. This is what I'm talking about. ATOS done took the blinders off, and it's letting us see clearly what our trajectory needs to be in this country. It's making our conversations with each other simple. What are we doing to build with each other? That's all ATOS is talking about. That is all ATOS is on right now. What is everybody else going to do to honor this justice claim that we have against America? And what can we do together, regardless of all the faux, ersatz, intersectional positions we hold? We ain't dividing up versus women versus men. We ain't dividing up gay versus straight. We not dividing up conservative versus liberal. We all share the same lineage. We all in the same boat, and we all need to do the same work. And this is why we got them shook, fam. This is why they're coming so hard at us. This is why they're maligning us in the media, trying to paint us as right-wing affiliated Russian bots and so on and so forth. If we were so small, so weak, so powerless in this transformational moment, they wouldn't even have their mouth on us, family. You don't even understand that Mitch McConnell validated you. That's right. He validated you. Why in the hell would Mitch McConnell have to be addressing reparations in the first place if it were not for ATOS? Come on, fam. We got to know when we winning. Right? But we can't stop. We got to be on some puffy shit. Can't stop. We can't stop. We got work to do. Fam, I can take one more call because I'm about to wrap it up. I've been jabbering at y'all for like 2 hours now, and I know, you know what I'm saying, y'all got y'all's evening to enjoy. 425-296-1980. I'll take one more. But that's right, Onyx. This is what we all about is ATOS. How can we build with each other? And what have these fools done for us lately? Calling from 909. It's your man, Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
Hello?
Hello, sister. How you doing? It's your man, Mark Black.
Hey, this is Moni Love.
Moni! What's up, sister? Peace to you.
Hello. Hi. Thank you.
Talk to me, sister. What's on your mind?
You know what? I just wanted to say, with everything that's going on, like with, first of all, I want to say that I'm completely ATOS focused.
Oh, for
so
sure.
when I'm looking at, I might be reading other articles and a part of me wants to drift off and kind of, we need to help it. No, I have to stop myself and say, nah, this ain't ATOS and it's not going to benefit our community. So why am I getting involved in all of that? You know what I mean? I think a part of us, we've always been so helpful and kind and welcoming. Our arms are open. And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just really just trying to stay focused on policies and those things that can help our ATOS community, help us. Because I've been going out on the street and I've been doing the whole boots on the ground thing.
Yes.
And I'm at the gas station and I'm passing out flyers while I'm pumping gas and stuff. I'm running into so many ATOS people, and I posted about it, and they're like, thank you, sis. Can you help me out with a motel voucher? I'm like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? And so I'm a social worker. That's what I do, for a living right now, because I've done a bunch of other stuff before in the past. And I get their number, and I find out. And it's not just one person. And then the next person hears me talking, and they're like, well, can you help me too? I'm like, oh, my God. I ain't even got into work yet, and I'm already trying to help our ATOS people, And I'm starting to see not only just how not so much broken because our spirit is strong, but like how much they tried to break us as a community and how much they have taken advantage of us.
Lousy
to the point
bastards.
where we're almost like, I'm not going to say we're dying, but like we're to the point where we're being completely ignored,
No, sister, you ain't far off the mark. Like the ATOS is our last gas, right? True talk. Look, always honesty among us, right? This is family talking. So as your brother and one who loves you, this is our shot. This is it. This is what our work needs to be, because without this, you can see it every day with your own eyes, right? You don't have to believe them stupid politicians. You don't have to believe MSNBC. You don't have to believe CNN. You are seeing it live and in living color, what looks like the demise of our people, the one people that has more right to claim America than anybody else.
Yes. And our people, some of them don't even know it. They don't even realize it. And then once I start talking to them, then I see some light in their eyes. And I said, just hold on to this paper, tune in, check in with us. You go to Tone Talks, go here, read all of these things that's on the flyer that I give them. And I said, and try to find your family tree. I said, but in the meantime, give me your number and I'm going to do what I can do. So I was helping this one family right now, helping them trying to get some housing. And I had to make some calls and say, wait a minute, they've been on the waiting list for how long? They should be up by now. Hello? Because they do that. They will skip over ATOS families and ATOS people and put their people in.
Oh, I know it.
And so, yeah, and it pissed me off, So anyway, I just wanted to just call and say I'm still out there fighting. I love our people. And I'm also seeing what a game has been played on our people, like the media and all the Joy Reid people and the roly-poly people. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. They're so self-serving and selfish. And it just, it makes me so mad,
I hear you, sister, man. Look, I told you see me go in on Roland. Like, there ain't no love. But that same energy I keep for all of the gatekeepers and sheepdogs. You know what I call them, like the Butter Biscuit Brigade. I'm done with all of them. All of them can die and go straight to Hades for mine, and I wouldn't miss a single one of them because they have done us no fucking favors. None.
They haven't.
You're right to be outraged. You are perfectly right to be upset at these traitorous bastards.
And at the same time, as mad as I am, I know that what we are doing, the ancestors are kissing us. They are embracing us, and they are pushing us forward in this fight for our community, for our ancestors, for our people. And so, how I might feel the anger that I have, it fuels me even more to be diligent and to get out and to spread the word to our people. So I just wanted to say that.
Monty, thank you, sister, for all your efforts, for everything you are. We feel the love, and that's what it's all about. Right. This was the one damn fear this country had, is that we would find a way to connect together, that they can't imprison, that they can't kill, that they can't shut it off, they can't turn it off, because we're all listening to each other's hearts, and the voice of our ancestors is driving this thing. Like Yvette says, the blood of our ancestors crying out from the ground drives us to every damn thing we do, and they can't kill that.
That's right.
So, sister, thank you for your positivity, for your
thank you,
work.
Everyone. I love you all.
You keep it up, and we definitely see you. We appreciate you.
All right. I'll see you for sure in October.
Ma'am.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Woo, fam. That is the way I want to end the show right there, the broadcast. Thank you, Sister Money. See, fam, don't come to your brother Mark Black saying, brother, we don't have this. We don't have that. What do? You do it. We need every single body, every single one. There is something right now you can do to uphold the honor of our ancestors, to pay homage to our lineage. If it's no more than printing out a bunch of little papers that have ATOS101.com on it and cutting them out and putting them in, in car windows and parking lots, or going to the grocery store and just saying, hey, fam, let me ask you a question. Where your people's from? Are you from the South? Yeah, my people's too. Check this out. What do you know about ATOS? ATOS, what's that? I'm glad you asked, fam. And run it down to them, right? Tell them about their lineage. Tell them about the tie y'all share together. You feel me? Right? Fam, there's so much right now that you can do, that if you claiming you can't find a spot to get in and fit in, you're dead from the neck up. There's no help I can give you. There's so much work to be done. So many places for you to jump in and get your spot. We need every single advocate and proponent for ATOS as we can get. Tell them, Chris, hey, our brothers and sisters in Sacktown is getting work in. If y'all have any questions, Chris, if you feel comfortable, fam, and you want to pop Like your email or something in the chat to let people know how to reach out to you for resources? You a mod. You can do it. Pop them links in there. Fam, we exchange information on Twitter. Of course, you know your man Mark Black broadcasts 2 times a week on Hump Day and Sucker Free Saturday, right? We got our sister Yvette on Mondays and Wednesdays. We got our brother Tone on Fridays. For those of you who roll with Tariq, you know he broadcasts fairly often, at least once a week. Jason Black and the B1 Brigade, right? Professor Black Truth and the B1 Brigade broadcast regularly. There's no excuse for you to not get the information that you need for the advocacy that we need as your people from you, right? So get in, do the work, find your spot, get in where you fit in. Do not be disheartened. Family, we got them shook. But we need to continue to press harder. We need one day at some point to have 1 million or better ATOS bodies right there at Pennsylvania Avenue and on Capitol Hill, knocking on doors saying, what you got on our reparations, homie? Mitch better have my money. You feel me? So, fam, I'm going to go ahead and end this one because Yvette's going to be, I think, broadcasting here shortly. And I want to make sure y'all all get an opportunity because I know I will be watching, right? Make sure you stay tuned for Sucker Free Saturday at 4:30 PDT. That's my time. I broadcast every Saturday, so make sure you join me for Sucker Free Saturday. Again, links to resources, reports, books, merchandise to help support my channel is right there in the description field. I also now have a Patreon. Put $5 on it. Support your man for $5 every month. I don't want to beg you. I'm not going to pressure you. But if you feel like I'm doing something that benefits you, that edifies, you know what I'm saying? Don't muzzle me. Help me out. All right. So, fam, as always, until the next time I see you, I want to wish you all love, peace, prosperity, and power. Real power to our people.